Alright guys, how's it going? So Shane came up with this great idea of picking or showcasing 5 of my essential training things that I basically use on a daily basis. As I was going through, my toolbox, which if you guys have followed along on these journeys before, you will notice that Shane bought a toolbox for me to store all my gym gear in. I realized I have like more than 5 essentials. So we're just gonna go through all of them. And these are the things that I literally travel with when I'm on the road, except for my barbell. But these are things that I will use on a daily basis. So let's go down here. All right, so we're gonna start with a belt. So every training session, I always use my belt, depending on whatever it is. One thing is I don't like to be too reliant on a belt. However, when I'm in a really heavy squat cycle or some kind of strength cycle, my belt is very good to have as I get heavier, because it actually really helps with longevity and helping the body, and looking after it as well, which then also leads me towards the knee sleeves. So I remember when I very first started, I was adamant that I don't need XYZ. If I'm going to the gym and I'm not bleeding and ripping on my hands and I'm not working hard enough, and then I realized that's not actually the smart way to do it, because that's going to affect my training for the next day and the day after that. So we're really trying to think of looking after the body, because for you guys at home that know what CrossFit is all about and have done it before, you know how demanding it is on the body. So having a belt, having knee sleeves is so important and very, very helpful for the joints. It does provide support as well. You can get elbow sleeves as well. I don't use elbow sleeves on a regular basis, which is why they're not here in the video, but I have got some in my gym bag just in case I'm doing something strongman related, or if I actually have a bit of a sore elbow, I just need that extra support. So that's why it's really good to have knee sleeves. Then we're going to go into grips. So I use these grips here. They're the Bare Complex ones. I actually prefer the older style ones, which lucky for me, I actually got a whole heap of the older style. And so, they don't make them ones anymore, unfortunately. However, the ones, I have a whole heap that I can just keep going through. I have a training pair and then I have a competition pair. And they're light, they're sturdy, and I feel like they're just so helpful when gripping on the bar, especially when it comes to toe to bar, bar muscle ups, chest to bar, pull ups, everything. I actually cut the finger things here so that when I'm doing muscle ups and stuff, my thumbs don't get caught in them, because I never use the finger holes. I just find that it's way better just to flap, throw them over the bar and then just hold on there. I then also make sure that I have wrist straps, and these are actually, they're not too long, but they are so thick and so sturdy. So when I need that wrist support for anything shoulder overhead, handstand push-ups, bench press, anything, even stability help when it comes to dumbbells or kettlebells, those kinds of things are very, very helpful when it comes to helping with the support in my wrists. I then also have my straps. So these are really good for building that strength through the snatch pulls and clean pulls. I don't use them in deadlifts because I've given the boys too much, excuse the French, but shit when they are using straps for deadlifts. I just kind of like to banter a little bit in training. So I am adamant, even if my hands are so raw and tender, I try not to use my straps. Only when it comes to snatch pulls and clean pulls. What else do we have? We also have the skipping rope. So I'll use this speed rope and this is, you know, nice and fast. The turning circle on these are really, really fast. So, you know, like we're trying to get as fast as possible in these reps, and this rope is really, really good for that. And it's super light as well. Like the handles, they've actually tried for years to develop really nice, light, fast handles. So I'm a huge fan of them. What else do I have? Then obviously a clock. So, you know, our sport is all about racing against time. And for me, this clock is so handy because it's small, but also big enough where I can put it anywhere in the gym. You know, I can move around. It has really good battery life and it's just so convenient. Straps tape, like for your thumbs, so I don't always rely on this. However, I do use this, you know, when I'm doing a lot of hang workouts. So, you know, if I'm doing hang cleans, hang snatches, anything like that, very, very helpful. This stuff is actually, it's not as rigid as some of the rogue tape that I sometimes use, but this stuff is good because it still allows my thumbs to bend, but it does really help on the barbell where it just grips a hold of it, and I don't put too much pressure on the thumb. Otherwise, you know, if I'm got too hard of a tape around my thumb, I tend to find like I bruise it and then it gets too tender. This band here, now bands are really, really important through training, but this one I always use on a daily basis. It's great for stretching, especially the upper body. And you know, I just find that it's got that right amount of tension in it that gives me a really nice stretch throughout the shoulders. And it's also dynamic. So, you know, most of you know that I also stretch early in the morning before I actually come to the gym, but they're more static stretches. When I get to the gym, I'm doing more dynamic stretches because I'm trying to get that blood flow and that body moving. And then, now I don't run every single day. However, these runners, I absolutely love, and I have found that they are very beneficial when it comes to my track workouts and everything. Obviously my lifters, I've never worn such great lifters. These are brand new ones actually. I haven't even put these on, but I go through lifters like at least 2 every season because I'm just always in them and using them, and I think that they're just so supportive. And then obviously my trainers, they are, you know, my absolute go-to. Hydration, very key throughout training, before and after. So I always have my hydration, and I've always got that in, you know, like my water bottle or my cup. And then, you know, my barbell, I said this earlier, but I'm always doing things with the barbell. And, you know, I find that that piece of equipment is something that I am on a daily basis using. So, guys, if you have any questions, please comment below. Some of this I'm not even sponsored by. You know, obviously I'm sponsored by Noble and Rogue, but that's literally it. And then I use everything. Oh, and Element. I'm also sponsored by Element as well. But aside from that, you know, RX, Smart Gear, Bear Complex, like they're all brands that I find are very, very good. And I've really, you know, learned to appreciate them throughout my daily training. But please comment below any questions that you have, and we'll do our best to get back to you. But I hope you enjoyed this, and you know, I hope you guys maybe picked up on some piece of equipment that you might apply to your own training.